channel. If this is your first time here, welcome, and if you're returning, it is good to see you again. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful weekend, and hopefully you are excited for the holidays. I cannot wait. From November until New Year's is my favorite time of the year. I love all the holidays. I love the reason for the season, the family, the food, just everything. And so I'm also really looking forward to being able to write over the holidays. I'm really close to being done with the rewrite, and I'm super excited to send it out to my lovely CPs and beta readers and hear what they have to say. No one has ever seen the full manuscript before, so I'm really excited about that. And hopefully you all will be able to get some writing done. For all of you guys who are participating in NaNoWriMo, I hope that that is going well. And if you're not participating, that's perfectly fine. I'm not. I'm just trying to finish my rewrite. That's my goal for November. So if you're not participating, don't feel bad. I still hope that you're having a wonderful time with your writing and that it's going well. Today I'm going to be talking about how to engage in the writing community, and this can be super daunting for new writers or for writers who really aren't that involved in any kind of platform or community. And so you might be wondering, where do I start? How do I dip my feet in or just dive straight in? How do I get involved? So I'm going to be sharing 3 benefits of joining the writing community and 6 ways that you can go about doing that. And these 6 platforms or ways are things that I personally have found to be super beneficial, things that have really worked for me. I am not involved in every outlet for the writing community, so I can't talk about, every single opportunity. These are just 6 that I personally have benefited from and that I wanted to share with you guys because I think that they are really awesome ways and really awesome tools to meet other writers and to get involved in the community. Alrighty, so benefit number 1 of why you should join the writing community is support or encouragement. Being surrounded by people who understand what the journey of writing a book is like is super important. Having friends and family and other people to support you is awesome too. My family is super supportive, and I have several friends who know that I'm a writer and they're super supportive as well. But there's just something about knowing the process and knowing those difficulties and struggles, because I guarantee that a lot of your family or friends have never written a book. So even though they want to support you, there's still that distance of not fully understanding what it's like to have this huge novel that you spend tons of time on, sometimes, years and years and years. So they can't really understand that aspect. So having fellow writers who know what, writing characters is like, and plotting and pacing and all of the things that just come with that, the struggles, the difficulties, but also the successes, is really awesome. For example, some of my friends don't really know what querying is like. So whenever I say I'm trying to get an agent, they may not understand. And so if I ever do get an agent, although they'll be super excited for me, I know, because they're awesome, it's not the same as maybe a writer friend who knows how difficult it is to sign with an agent. I think we can all attest to the fact that writing a novel is hard, so having like-minded people who can be there to support and encourage you is definitely a wonderful benefit of the community. Alrighty, benefit number 2 is celebration. We are all walking on this writing journey together. We're all in different stages of it. Some of us are writing our first book, some of us are getting published. There's this huge spectrum of where we're at in the writing journey, but we all understand the general principle of what it's like to write a book. And surrounding yourself with people who are not only going to support you during the trials and the difficult times, but also celebrate and happy dance whenever you have a success is super wonderful. These successes can be as small as meeting your daily word count, and they can go to as big as signing with a publisher for your first book deal. And the writing journey, like I mentioned, is super hard, and it can be discouraging at times, so everyone needs a little happy dancing and celebrating at some point. Staying positive is the key to persevering and continuing with your passion, and so celebration is needed, and having people to celebrate with you and who will celebrate for you is super awesome, and definitely something that I have experienced with the writing community, with all of the writer friends that I've met. They are so quick to jump in and to congratulate me, to give me support and encouragement, to happy dance and to lift me up, whether I'm going through a difficulty or a success. And the last benefit that I'm going to mention, there are definitely more, but the third one that I'm going to mention is networking. So this one falls under platform, and most people think that platform equals followers. But personally, and this is just my opinion, I don't like that at all. I think that platform should equal friends. And so that's kind of how I treat any of my platforms, anywhere that you can find me, my blog, social media, YouTube, whatever. Everyone that I meet, that I try to have a genuine connection with, and I treat it as a friendship instead of like a followership, if that makes any sense. Nevertheless, there's definitely a good reason behind the idea of having a platform, and that is that although publishing is a love of writers, books, stories, etc., it is also an industry, and so, they're out to sell books. Whenever you have a platform of followers and friends who are supporting you and standing behind you, who are ready to buy your your book if/when it gets published. That's definitely a benefit. Now, I do want to say there's a difference between a benefit and a requirement. You do not have to have a huge following or a super strong platform in order to get published. Okay, I know a lot of people think that that's the case, but it is not at all. People get published without a following. Now, one of the first things that agents will often do is tell them get on Twitter or start some kind of social media, but they will sign authors even if they do not have a strong following if they love your book. So don't think that this benefit is a requirement. And the last thing is, networking is just really fun. I love meeting new people. I love connecting with them, finding other writers who have similarities as you and who have differences, you know, learning from people who have different storytelling abilities, different backgrounds, different ideas, write in different genres, whatever that might be. It can be a learning experience, and that can be wonderful as well. There's so much that you can learn just from interacting with other writers, and after all, we learn something new every single day. So even though there is this business aspect to having a platform, it's also just super fun and enjoyable. So those were the 3 benefits, and now I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can get involved in the writing community. First is start a blog. I have a blog, Closing Coffee, at caitlinlambert.com, and I actually had another blog before that, which was called Between the Lines, and I had it for about 3 years when I was in high school, and it was super fun. I posted a lot, and there was actually a lot of content on there. There was over 100 blog posts, which unfortunately I lost whenever I switched over to a new platform, but whenever I was running that blog, I had pretty much 0 followers. I pretty much just did it for my own purposes. I did have a few people who read, but it wasn't a following. It was just a few friends who I knew in real life who would read the posts. And so it was really awesome, and actually it taught me so much about creating, designing, and running my own website and blog. However, it was not very professional, and I did not use it for any sort of professional means. I wasn't trying to reach out and meet new writers. Whenever I started Closing Coffee, however, I really wanted it to be where writers could connect, hence the little tagline for my website, which is tips, tools, and encouragement for writers. And it's a place of community and a place of advice where I just share what I've learned over my many years of writing and querying, and where I hope readers and writers can come together. So that was really my goal for the blog, and I wanted to actively seek out other writers and other readers, follow their blogs, read, and interact via our blogs or websites. Even though I'm still growing every day with Closing Coffee, it's still relatively new. I've only had it for 1 year, and there's not too many posts on there. I think there's like between 30 and 40. I post 1 blog every Wednesday, but I didn't used to post every week. It was really sporadic, so I've only started making it a regular thing. And so even though I'm still growing and my platform is still growing on Closing Coffee, I have met so many awesome writers via their blogs and just reading their posts, and I've learned a lot from other people's journeys and experiences as well. And so I really recommend a blog as an awesome way to meet other writers, but also to have like a central place for you where you can have all your social media links, everything that you do. You can share about your books. So on Closing Coffee, I have a homepage, an About Me page, my books page, for writers and resources, the blog, and then a contact page. So it's kind of like the hub for all of my stuff. And like on my business cards and on a lot of my social media, I lead people to my website because then it branches off into all the different things that I have elsewhere. So yes, having a blog is definitely a wonderful way to meet other writers and to set yourself up as having a really professional image in the writing community. Depending on whether you have a website or a blog, which there are a few differences, your blog can be your website, like Closing Coffee is my website and my blog. However, if you decide to just have a blog that's purely about you talking about books or writing, that's perfectly fine as well. But if you do use your blog as your professional website, a lot of times agents will go and look at your website whenever you're querying, if you include the website address in your query, or if you just mention your name. Sometimes they'll just Google search you, which can be a really awesome way when you're querying to have that connection and to show agents something that they might not see in the query. Okay, tip number 2 is join social media. This can include Goodreads, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. I'm sure that there's a million other ones. Which ones am I not saying? Did I say YouTube? Maybe, I don't know. I'll put some more like up here that I can't think of right now. But there's so many platforms that you can join on social media. It's actually mind-boggling how many different things there are for writers and readers to join. For me personally, I'm on Facebook and Twitter, and then YouTube, obviously, aside from having my website. I would definitely say Twitter, I get way more interaction on there, and I discuss things and meet new people far more quickly on Twitter than I do on Facebook. However, I still do have a Facebook page and I like posting there. I have a small audience there as well, so I use both of those platforms. And a lot of people have asked me, do you have an Instagram? Do you have a Goodreads? For now, I do not, but you never know. I might branch out to those in the future. I kind of add one social media, as I go along, just because time management is an issue as well. So I want to go a little bit more in depth within 2 of those social media outlets and discuss 2 things that can be really, really awesome on 2 different platforms for meeting new writers and getting involved in the community. So my third way to engage in the community, which falls under social media, are Twitter chats. I love Twitter chats. They are great ways to meet new people in the writing community. I can't participate in as many as I would like because sometimes they take a long time. They usually take like between 1 to 2 hours, but you can just jump in and out and come in and out of the chat as you want. You don't have to stay there for the full time. But every single time that I participate in a chat, I leave with like 10 new followers or friends. I consider them friends. And so that's super awesome, and it really helps with networking and connecting with other people in the community. Basically, a Twitter chat is like a place where lots of writers can come. Since it is online and on the internet, obviously we're leading our own lives. So Twitter chats bring all of those writers together at a given time on a given day with the hashtag, and people talk about writing. So some really awesome ones that I would recommend for you guys are Chance to Connect and Story Social. Those are the 2 that I participate in most frequently, but I also know that Author Confession, On the Porch, WIP Joy, Turtle Writers. Is Turtle Writers a chat? It might just be a hashtag. But those are some really good ones that I recommend y'all to check out, but you can definitely find out about a lot of Twitter chats. I don't know if you just look it up on the internet or if you ask some writing friends that you already know, if you happen to know any. I know that whenever I ask any of my friends for some good ones, I get a boatload of awesome chats to join. Alrighty, the 4th tip and the second thing that falls under social media are Facebook groups. This can kind of be a two-edged sword. It can be a bad thing, but it can also be a really great thing. So I'm involved in a writing group on Facebook, but I'm not nearly as involved as I was whenever I started out in the community, and that's just because a lot of what gets discussed in writing groups can be from new writers. And now this can be a wonderful thing, and you definitely, want to have like mentors or people who have been writing for a long time in the groups as well to give advice. And I'm not trying at all to bash Facebook groups. They can be a wonderful thing, and I absolutely love mine, and I loved it even more whenever I was a new writer. It was wonderful, especially because I met Amy from A Magical World of Words in my Facebook group, and she's one of my best writer friends. So if I would never have joined, I would have never met her, which would be super sad. So definitely meeting new people can be an awesome thing in Facebook groups, but I will talk a little bit more in a different video. Maybe I'll do a video all on Facebook groups and the pros and the cons of that. But just as a recommendation, joining a really good Facebook group can be an awesome way to meet new writers. The 5th way that you can meet new writers in the community is through YouTube. So obviously you're watching this video probably on YouTube, so you know that there is a writing community on here. There's also an incredible bookish community, and this is one thing that I want to point out, that being in the writing community and meeting writers is a really, really awesome thing, but also meeting people who love to just read, reviewers, bloggers, etc. can be awesome for you as a writer just because you can learn from them, but also because later on, if you ever do get published, having a lot of bookish friends who love to review books, you never know, they might review your book, and that can be really great publicity. One thing that I really love about YouTube, and one of the reasons that I started making my YouTube videos, is that as writers, we deal with words all the time, and as much as I love Quills and Coffee, and as much as I love reading lots of other writers' blogs, there definitely is that lure of just watching a video and not dealing with words and just listening for once. And so that can be a really good plus, and for some people, they like seeing a face and they like hearing a voice, and so they're drawn into YouTube more than they would be to a blog. And so I definitely encourage you, if you don't want to start a YouTube channel, just watching other people's videos and commenting can still be an awesome way, and that can lead to other connections on other platforms in the future. And my 6th and last way for this video, at least, that you can get involved in the writing community is through conferences or workshops. If you have not seen my Tennessee Writing Workshop conference vlog, then I will link to that below in the description box, but it was the first conference that I had ever been to, and I went over the summer, and it was an incredible experience. I met one of my CPs there, and that's how we connected. So again, a lot of different ways that I have met writing friends, through Facebook groups, through YouTube, through Twitter, through conferences. So that's why I'm kind of sharing these 6 ways, because each of the ways has has more than likely found me at least one really awesome friend. The thing that I really love about conferences is it's often the only way, or one of the major ways, that writers can meet each other face to face in person, and where there are a lot of writers there, as opposed to just one-on-one connections with a writer friend that you've already made, you know, on some kind of other social media platform. Conferences are where tons of writers all come together and they sit in on sessions and panels. Just the community and the connection of sitting down in an audience, waiting on a panel, and just turning to the person next to you and introducing yourself, which is what I did at the conference. I was probably that annoying person who kept asking questions, but it paid off because I met CP and I met a lot of other writer friends. So yeah, definitely be outgoing at conferences and make new friends. Alright everybody, that is all for today. So those are my 6 ways that you can get involved and my 3 benefits of joining the writing community. I hope that you will take one of these and just run with it. I know that it can be super, super scary. Gracie, can y'all hear that? Anyways, I hope that y'all will get involved in at least one of them. The writing community is super awesome, and I can personally attest to the fact that before I was a member of the writing community, before I really actively started to get involved in it, I was super hesitant. In fact, just a little story times, I did not want to join Twitter. It was like, I don't know, I didn't understand it. I thought it was so pointless and meaningless, and I was like, why do you only want to use 180 characters, which now I think it's what, 280? Maybe, but I was like, why would you want to do this? And whenever I would look at different Twitter profiles, I just didn't understand how like the replying worked. It was just so confusing to me. And so as somebody who had only been on my blog and on Facebook, Twitter was just a new world. But Amy at A Magical World of Words, who I mentioned earlier, actually was like, Caitlin, you should just do it. There's so many agents and authors and industry professionals and writers on Twitter, and it's so fun and it's such an awesome place to meet writers, and you should really just try. And so I took her word for it and I set up my account and she helped me set it up. She was my first follower, and after that I just started following agents and authors that I loved, and over time it just grew, and now I've met so many awesome people on Twitter. So it really goes to show that whenever you step outside your comfort zone and you try something new, it can really pay off and it can help you to connect and meet new writers. If you're not on any social media and after watching this video you just really want to start a platform, let me know down below in the comments if you do set up a Twitter or Facebook or whatever. I would love to connect. If you want to connect with me, I'm on Twitter at Caitlin A. Lambert, on Facebook at author Caitlin Lambert, and on my blog at CaitlinLambert.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see y'all next week.